Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. This is Natalie for Diesel Dollar Budgets, and today we're going to be comparing the Hobonichi Techo 2023 to the Kinbor 2023 weekly planner. This is just a video mostly for myself where I'm going to be comparing the two and deciding which weekly planner I want to use for next year. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in watching, please stay tuned for more. Hi guys and welcome back. So as you can see, I've got two different planners here. They're very similar, but I just wanted to do a comparison between the Hobonichi Techo weekly and the Kinbor weekly planner. So let's just get started. The Hobonichi Techo, I've bought this off the Hobonichi website, and I think it was about $50 or $60 when I ordered it, and that's with shipping to Australia. And I got the English version. I've never had a Hobonichi before, but I'd seen a lot of people on Instagram using them, and I thought that it would make a nice planner to just have as an everyday carry. At the moment, I am currently using a Kinbor in my Hobonichi Weeks my week size Moterm cover, but you know, I just wanted to double check and see which I like better. So this is the lineup. So we've got the Hobonichi Techo, which is a Japanese brand, I think, and then we've got the Kinbor Weeks, which is a Chinese brand. So this other planner that I've got to compare the Hobonichi to is the Kinbor Weeks planner. There are two different versions of this. This is actually the, I believe this is the horizontal version. You can actually get one that's got, you know, a different layout, but I went for this one because it's very similar to the Hobonichi Weeks. This one I got off AliExpress, and I believe it was about $25. So if you're worried about price, I recommend going for the Kinbor, which is a little bit cheaper, and you've also got more of a selection of layouts. But let's just get into this, and I'm just going to remove them from the packaging. First of all, the cover on the Hobonichi is definitely like a fabric cover, and then the cover on the Kinbor is sort of like a faux leather. Just looking at them in comparison to size, they're very similar, but the Kinbor seems to be a little bit thicker. And the Kinbor is definitely a bit wider as well. Very similar in sizing, but you know, they both fit into the Moterm cover that I've been using. So let's just get started. Some of the features in this, they both come with two bookmarks. I've just already trimmed the bookmarks out of this one. The inside, as you can see, you know, this one's got a little bit of a shimmer deco. It actually feels like a almost like a crepe paper, to be honest, but it's got like a pearlescent finish, whereas the Hobonichi has the typical Hobonichi just background. Going to the next page, as you can see, it says Hobonichi Techo Weeks, and this one has 23 weeks. If you can't tell, I certainly can by looking at it, but I don't know if you can tell on camera. The Hobonichi paper seems to be a little bit more yellow, and you know, it's very, very thin. If you've ever used a Hobonichi before, very thin paper. As I said, I haven't used a Hobonichi before, but you know, it's very, very thin. Then we've got the Kinbor. This paper is almost pristine white, which I tend to like a little bit more, just because this kind of looks old and dirty. I'm just, you know, a bit of a stickler, and I think that stickers would, you know, show up better on this Kinbor paper. Thinking about the paper thickness, the Kinbor paper is a little bit thicker from what I can feel, and it does seem sort of, you know, softer, if that makes sense, like it's a bit smoother, whereas the Hobonichi, oh well, they're both pretty smooth. But this just seems to have a bit more weight to it. Looking at the weeklies or yearly spreads, so for the Hobonichi we've got 2022 in a larger section with any important dates over here. Then you've got last year's calendar, which is 2022 in a bit smaller, and then a 2024 calendar here. Similar with the Kinbor Weeks, but it's flipped the opposite way. So it's 2022 here, 2024 down here, and then a larger section for the 2023. But there is no space for any important dates. Me personally, I'd probably cover this up with a sticker, but you know, I just wish that there was a little bit of space here for, you know, writing notes. Because this version of the Hobonichi is in English, I find that I'm going to be using this a lot more so because, you know, I can't read kanji or anything like that. So this is kind of wasted on me, unfortunately. But you can see here that any important dates in this Kinbor weeks are highlighted in red. I don't know what the days are because I don't know what the holidays are, so, you know. But both of the calendars have grey for a Saturday and red for a Sunday, and they are both Monday start planners. So, you know, they're quite nicely laid out for the calendar. Going on to the next page, we've got a full yearly spread. So on the Hobonichi, you've got very limited space to look at, you know, the 12 months overall. The Sundays are blanked out in red, and then the Saturdays are blanked out in grey. And then you just go to running 1 to 31 for each of the months. And I really don't know what I would use this section for. I know I've seen a lot of people use it as a, you know, like steps tracker or weight tracker and that sort of thing. I would pretty much, you know, just track those things in my personal wide, because that's part of my wellness section, but I don't really know how I would use this page. Onto the Kinbor weeks, you can see that they've got 4 months per 2 pages, which I think is a lot better. There's a lot more space for you to write. It's not as, you know, drastically coloured as you can see, but the only problem is that the days of the week, so like Monday to Sunday, are all written in a different language, which, you know, you can probably find stickers that will cover this up and make it a lot easier for you. But I do like the fact that there's more space to write. You've also got space down here and up here to write any important dates, and this just goes on for the whole year, so 1 to 4, 5 to 8, and 9 to 12. So I prefer this sort of layout more. So that's 1 point to, you know, well, should I say 2 points to the Kinbor. Going on to the next section is the monthly spread. So in the Hobonichi, it starts in December, so that you can, you know, have a whole month so that you can readjust your way of planning to the Hobonichi before the new year starts. Very decent amount of space down the bottom here so that you can write any notes or anything like that. I know that people decorate this side for with, you know, stickers, or some people put their habit tracker or sleep tracker or something down the side. Again, you've got the Sunday blanked out in red and then the Saturday blanked out in the grey. You know, I like the fact that it's nice and clear. It's not, you know, too overpowering. Then going on to the Kinbor. The Kinbor seems like the days, the blocks for the days are a lot larger, so it actually takes up all the space down here. You've still got space down here to write a few notes, but not so many. Both of them feature, you know, a countdown for the weeks, which I think is good, you know, for if you're doing any savings challenges that you want to, you know, track which week you're on. This is really good to track that. But they also have a calendar up in the corner here, and I think depending on where the months are, it can sometimes be down here as well, for the month prior and the month following, which again, I like to refer to the month or the year before, just so I know, you know, what's going on and that kind of thing. So I kind of like this feature. The number and month over here is a lot larger in the Kinbor, whereas with the Hobonichi it's very small and it gives you a little bit more space down here. This one takes up a big amount of space, but to be honest, it still looks like it's very similar. I mean, like it is actually significantly smaller, but you know, that's neither here nor there, because I probably would only use this side for deco. The only thing that does bother me is that the days 30 and 31 down here are smaller than the rest of them, you know, just because they're, you know, days at the end of the month doesn't mean you don't want to use them, but you know, that is what that is. And the Kinbor also starts on the 1st of January, which, you know, that's another point to Hobonichi where it actually starts on the December, so that you can start it before, you know, you get into the new year. So they just continue all the way through until December, all the way to December. Then Hobonichi goes on to January, February, and March of 2024 before going on to the weekly layout. With the Kinbor, you've got so January to December, and then you go on to what this says is a yearly plan. So this has got 2 blank spaces up here, and then it's got 6 spots for each month, or a spot for each month down here on the double layout. It's a significant amount of space, so I guess that you could write, you know, highlights of the month down here, and like, you know, put maybe some stickers to represent each month up here. I'm not sure. I haven't used this planner for long enough that I know what I would actually put up here, but you know, I think that this is a good idea so that you don't go straight into the weekly. But, you know, that is, you know, neither here nor there for some people. Then you go into a blank space which says plan of a new year. So for this, you could use just like notes of how you want to use your layouts for the year or anything like that. Again, I don't know what I'd put here, maybe stickers or, you know, photos from the year as the year goes on. Just make a collage of it. And then you go into the weekly layout. So looking here, I can see that the lines of this block on the Kinbor, they're a lot more pronounced than they are on the Hobonichi. Also, you get more space for each day, let's be honest. This one starts on the first week of January, because January starts on the Sunday, sorry, this month, next year, whereas this one has November and then continues into December. And as you can see, like, they're fairly similar layout. It looks like both of them have a 4mm by 4mm square area. This one, it seems like you can actually, in the Hobonichi, you can actually sort of see the squares through the paper, whereas this one you can sort of, but it's not lined up. I don't know if that makes sense, but you can sort of see the squares, but they don't sort of line up precisely, whereas the Hobonichi, as you can see with the lines, you can sort of see that they line up perfectly, and you know, that could be better for some people who have a difficult time trying to write out in straight lines. I know that that's me, but I haven't really found any issues with it with my Kinbor that I've been currently using. You can see that they both have a blocked off section for the dates. The Hobonichi has the moon phases, which I actually really like. The only thing I don't like is this space down here, which I feel is a bit wasted. There's quotes on each weekly page for the Hobonichi, and because I've got the English version, they're in English, but I know previously they had them in Japanese, I believe. Again, with this, you've got the month up here, or the starting month for the week. So up here it says December because it starts in December. This one says January, well, 1, so not January, but it still starts on the 26th of December, you know, which is neither here nor there. I probably would cover this with deco anyway. Same with up here. There's a lot of nice space in the Hobonichi to be able to write down things, and then I like to section off these sections and write out what I'm using, like what I'm posting on Instagram or my social media on this side. And for me, what I tend to do is I write a line straight down the middle. Here is where I pull on my appointments, here's what I put my tasks list, and here is where I write down what my social media is doing for the day, and then just notes and to-do lists for the week. You could do that on either side of this, on either book, but you know, I find that the Hobonichi would be more beneficial because everything lines up, unless you're really bothered by this part here, which you could just cover with deco. I know that I decorate a lot anyway. I do like the fact that this has more space though. But either way, they've got a similar layout, similar amount of space. They do have the calendar down on the bottom here. And the only thing that I don't like about the Kinbor is that these dates are blocked off in a colour. I find that if I'm writing, or if I'm putting a sticker or something down here, or if I was to highlight it with a Tombow marker, I'd want them all to be the same, like blank colour, where this is a lot better for that sort of idea. But, you know, I'm gonna sort of give this one a tie, to be honest, because They both have a very similar layout. You can both, you know, both can be utilized in a similar way, but I will be honest, I do like the fact that the boxes line up here. So this goes on until the end of the year, so I'll just continue flipping all the way through. So yeah, we've got, on this one, we've got the start of December to the end of December 2023. On this one, we've got the start of January to the end of December 2023. And then flipping to the next page, we're getting into the notes section. So in the Hobonichi, you've got the useful abbreviations, which, you know, I probably wouldn't use. I'd probably put like a key, my own key section over here. And then you've got your the start of your notes pages, so you can write the page and the subject. Then for the Kinbor, it literally goes straight from that into the index page, and very similar, you can write down what page it is, the title, and the date that you filled it in. So, you know, they both have a lot of notes pages going forth. So in the Hobonichi, I believe there's 75. Let's just check this. 73, 74, 75, yes. And I've already done a pen test for my fountain pen in here. Then the Kinbor has 78 pages. So after the notes pages, they're all very much a 4x4mm, which, you know, decent size. So this has 75 pages. The Hobonichi goes into useful things around you to measure size and has a ruler down the side. Kind of interesting, but I probably wouldn't use it. It then goes into a favorites page, and it says, this is a great place to list rankings for movies, books, music, restaurants, events, games, and much more on a sliding scale of 5 stars. So, you know, I don't think I'd use that. I'll just continue with the Hobonichi for now, and then I'll compare it to the Kinbor. So you've got the favorites section. Then you've got a My 100, which is a list of 100 things that you want to track, or, you know, things you accomplished during the year. You then have a My Favorite Things, which is like your books and your comic books and TV shows and food and that sort of thing. And then you go on to How to Better Enjoy Conversation. Now, in the previous books, this was all in Japanese and you couldn't really read it, and I know a lot of people covered it up. I still probably wouldn't use this part. I would still probably cover it up with something. I'm not sure what. Then you've got the 365 days check off sheet, and I know that people make stickers for this. So, you know, if you search on Etsy, you can find a lot of stickers to count these down. Then you've got a mini address book, and then going into, you know, where you can write your own name, address, personal phone, and email, anything if you, you know, lose your Hobonichi. For this one, the Kinbor, it goes from the 78 notes pages, and then it goes into a schedule. So it has a Monday to Sunday schedule starting at 8 AM and going till 8 PM. You know, it's kind of a good idea, but, you know, I don't know about you, but a lot of my days aren't always exactly the same. Then on the next page, you've got a gift list, which, you know, that's a pretty good thing to have. I know that I would include a gift list in my notes pages, so I may not use that, but, you know, instead of having to actually make myself one from scratch in the Hobonichi, it's good to have it in there and with the Kinbor. And then you've got a 21-day plan. Again, I don't know what I would use this for. Maybe, you know, they say it takes 21 days to start a habit, so it could be, you know, doing your exercise or that sort of thing. I'm not really sure what I would use this for, but again, it's a nice little addition where you've got space to write down, you know, and track things for each day, and then a notes section. Then, similar to the Hobonichi, it's got a My Favorites page. So, you know, again, working on that 5-star scale, and, you know, just ability to track all those sorts of things that you want to track for your favorites. And it's got 2 pages of that, so 4 pages, sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So a little bit more to it than the Hobonichi. Then in here, I can't read all this, sadly. I would probably cover this up with, you know, maybe an insert, like a mail tracker, and just stick it over the top. But then you've got this section here, which shows you all the different sizes of paper. So you've got the B sizes, and then you've got A sizes. and you know, I think it's got it in millimeters, I'm not sure. Yeah, the sizes are in millimeters, and they've just got a little table here showing you what it is. I don't know what these are in reference to because I can't read the writing, but apparently it's sizing of some kind. Then you go on to the China map. You know, I don't live in China, I've never been to China, and I most likely won't go to China anytime soon, or at least not in 2023, but it is a good thing to have, you know, if you are doing a trip over there. And then this looks like gourmet recommendations. Again, in writing that I can't read, sadly, but you know, I'd probably cover these pages with maybe stickers or inserts that I would use, and that goes on for four pages. And then, you know, we go on to a very similar personal information part, similar to what's in the Hobonichi, where you put in your personal information for if you ever lose the planner. It's also got the ruler on this section here, so I would probably keep this page, whereas with this one, you know, the ruler was all the way back here on wasted pages. So I don't know, they've both got similar features, but you know, sort of different layout. And then at the end we've got this, you know, their stamps for the Hobonichi Techo 2023 and a little code number, and the stamp for the Kinbor. I don't think this has a code. No, it doesn't have a code unless the Chinese writing is a code. I'm not sure. Then you go to the back of the planner, and the Kinbor has a little pocket, which I know the Hobonichi does come with a clear sticker that you can put either on the back or on the front of the planner and be able to carry your stickers in that. But it's nice to have this sort of extra feature on the Kinbor at the end of the day. So looking at this, I'm still not really sure which planner I would go with. Honestly, I do like that the Kinbor seems to have a few more features. I like the fact that it is a little bit cheaper. I also like the fact that it's a little bit more, you know, whiter paper. There's more space to write information down. The only thing I really don't like, which is putting me off it, is the fact that the weekly days for Saturday and Sunday are blocked off in a colour. I don't really like that from a deco stance, but if you are using it for, you know, just writing down and script, you know, writing down any trackers or anything like that, that may not bother you. But because I like to decorate my weeks, it is kind of annoying. With the Hobonichi, again, the things that I do like is the fact that it's nice and minimal. It's very clear. The paper is Tomo River paper, so it holds onto ink really, really well. So for example, I like to use a fountain pen in some of my planners, and both of these planners will actually hold fountain pen ink quite well, but it seems that the Hobonichi holds up a little bit better, whereas on the Kinbor it tends to take a little bit longer to dry. Again, with the layout of the months, I like that all the days are a similar size, whereas with the Kinbor, you get some days where, you know, they're smaller than others. But I do like the fact that this one has the, you know, the monthly calendar on each one. And then going into the weeklies, again, you know, I like that this one starts at the end of November and starts in December, so that you can sort of use it and get used to it before 2023 actually starts. But I'm still kind of confused as to which one I want to use, honestly. I do like both of them, but I'm thinking that I might use the Kinbor for just my everyday carry, and maybe this for like a you know, positive affirmations or something like that, or a highlights of the day. I'm not really 100% sold. The fact that, you know, this space down here seems wasted, and I know that that's a complaint with a lot of people, but at least now you can actually read the quotes down below. Hi guys, Editing Nat here. I just wanted to come on and to quickly remind everyone about the 2 savings challenges I'm currently offering free to download until the end of this year. This is my way of saying thank you to everyone who supported me in 2022, whether it be by watching my videos or following my other social media or purchasing from my Etsy store. I want to make sure that everyone has a good start to 2023, and this was the best way I knew how. First, we have the 2023 savings challenge, which is 20 lots of $23 $200, which comes to a potential saving of $460. Then we have the 2023 in 2023 challenge, where you can save up to $2,023 over the course of 2023. Both of these challenges are available to download for free via the link in the description bar until December 31st, 2022, but come January, they will be available for purchase from my Etsy store, Diesel Dollar Budgets. I just wanted to say thank you again for making 2022 an amazing year for Luke, Diesel and myself, and let's just get back to this video. But yeah, hopefully this has helped you guys to decide which planner you want to use for 2023. Other than that, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!